Hello everyone, this is another quick tip. It's about modeling tools. What we're going to discuss are the basic tools, the tools everyone should have, the tools I use most often. I'm not going to get into full extended, long, drawn out, here's all the tools I use discussion. There's plenty of those videos out there on the internet. This is supposed to be a short video, just discussing the tools I use most frequently. So, what I'm going to do is go through them. They're all laying right here in front of me. There isn't a large collection of them at all. But then again, these are the tools I use on about every single build, and I use them about 90% of the time on every single build. That's why they're here, and that's why I'm doing this video. First up, basic hobby knife. This is an X-Acto brand. It's over 30 years old. I got it when I was a child. Been using it ever since. It came in a kit with two others. I rarely use the other two. I have a bunch of other knives in there that I bought, some at Harbor Freight Tools, some others, when I got back into this hobby about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, and don't use them. Went back to the basic. Get yourself a good knife. Spend money on it. If you're going to spend money on anything, go get a good one. The cheap ones, they're just not worth buying, in my opinion, because you just won't use them. They don't feel good. They don't hold the blades well, things like that. This thing holds the blades excellent. Okay? So if you're going to spend money on a tool, get that. You won't spend much money because these tools aren't expensive. Next thing, sprue cutters. I didn't get these at Hobby Shop, home improvement store, wire cutting section. Okay? They were great for cutting sprue from the tree. I cut far from the part. I actually cut in the sprue itself and set it up next to the part with these. And then I use my hobby knife to trim the piece off. Okay? We'll get into that technique some other time. But anyhow, sprue cutters, got them at the hobby, not at the Hobby Shop, big box store. Didn't spend much money. Next thing, files. Okay, this is a pretty extensive set of files. It looks more impressive than it is because a lot of these files are duplicated. Like there's two round ones, two flat ones, two curved ones, two triangular shaped ones. Okay, got them at Harbor Freight Tools. Didn't pay much money for them. I think this was less than $3. Okay, if you take care of them properly, they'll last quite a long time, especially since you're really just filing plastic and it's way softer in the middle. All I do to clean my files is I file on a piece of rag after I'm done working on the model, and it keeps all the little plastic shaving bits out of the file. Works wonderful. I use these quite a bit. Next up, sanding stick. Small little sanding sticks. Got them at Hobby Lobby. They weren't overly expensive. This picks up where the file leaves off, because I can get nooks and crannies with this little thing. There are other versions of them. I'm not real fond of them. These, I like the files better than these. I bought these for working on King Ghidorah's neck. Now the files work better. Okay, so I use this to polish up when I'm done with the files. After I'm done with those two, 600 grit wet dry sandpaper. Sand it wet. You'll be amazed at the difference between dry sanding and wet sanding. No dust. Sandpaper stays clean longer, lasts longer. Much better. I can get a whole model out of a piece this big, easily. I never use a grit under 600 grit. It's always 600 or 1200 that I use working on the models. Then I'll use a higher grit if I want to polish it more. Like if I'm building a car model or cleaning up a windshield, a canopy or something. Okay? So I never use lower than 600 grit sandpaper. Just don't see the need. It's because I don't do seam filling with CA. Bamboo skewer. You will be amazed at the uses of these little guys. I use them constantly. Okay? Poking holes in things. You can poke holes in things if you heat the plastic a little bit up with one of these. Easily. Just moving things around. Putting dots with Mr. Surfacer. This works great for putting dots on things with Mr. Surfacer. Just all sorts of uses for bamboo skewers. Just constantly using them. Okay? Then we get to clamps. We have 3 different types of clamps in front of me. My favorite, this little guy. I found them in the big box hobby shop, not hobby shop, big box home improvement store one day. They had about 5 of them. I bought 2. Said I'm not going to buy more until I get home and give them a try. I got home, gave them a try. I thought they were wonderful. Went back a week later and they were all gone. Haven't had them since. They make much bigger versions of these, and I don't see you needing a bigger version for working on models. I'm going to try to track some more of these down, but I don't think they make them anymore. I think they weren't selling, so they quit making them, which is a shame, because these are great clamps for working on models. I have not used a rubber band once since I got these. All you do is you squeeze them tight. To release, you push that lever. That's it. Simplest clamp I've got. Next up, the good old bar clamp. Push a button here to slide it down. Lever tightens it up. Okay, Harbor Freight tools, so like $2 a piece. These aren't so durable. I've broken one or two of them, but they do work, and they allow you to get around big objects if you need it. Okay, and then the dollar store favorite, the tiny little gator clamps. I have 3 or 4 versions of these, but I use these guys the most. Okay, so what we have here is a rundown of my basic tools. Hopefully you enjoyed.